Today we're going to be talking about your birth certificates and how we are slaves to a system and how they have trapped us into this system. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand about this system is there are two types of laws. You have the law of water, which is admiralty law, and the law of the land. So the admiralty law is the law of water, and this is what money is. Money is water. This is why we say liquidity, currency, the current. A current is water, something moving through something. Cash flow. And this is why banks are called banks, because a river bank is on either side of the water and it directs the currency. You see? So money is water. And as you can see here, Ripple, the cryptocurrency, Ripple, water Ripple, and they're building a bridge over water, overseas, international banking with cryptocurrency. So money is water. And this has specific laws about water, but water is the same everywhere, you see? What the difference is with the law of the land is that you can have different laws in different lands. I can't do certain things in the UK that people can do in America, for example. You see, that's the law of the land, but the law of water is the same because water is everywhere. Now, this is very important to understand when it comes to, these birth certificates. So, Pope Gregory, this is where we're going to start off. Pope Gregory in 1582 took the Orthodox Eastern sunrise calendar and changed it to his own Gregorian timeline, not a calendar, a timeline. This timeline was copyrighted by Pope Gregory under the name of the Vatican. So the Vatican owns the timeline that we are using today, 2023. They own it. They own the title of this Gregorian calendar. Okay. Therefore, anyone who is born under this copyrighted timeline, not calendar, they are subjected to Rome because Rome owns the timeline. They have a patent, a copyright for that timeline. What is on our birth certificates? That timeline. We are born underneath, we are subjected to the Vatican. This is why all birth certificates go to the Vatican. They own every single birth certificate. Okay? So when we use this timeline, we are subjecting ourselves to this timeline. Okay? Which the Vatican has a claim over. This calendar or timeline is set to sunset, not the sunrise, which is associated with death, darkness, and the moon, lunatics. You see, so this is a sunset calendar timeline. Okay, this is now, they've changed a couple things, right? They say that the new year is January the 1st. Okay, when we know this is in winter. January is winter, which is associated with darkness, death, the death of nature. So this is a death cult, people. These people are evil. They're so evil, the Vatican. And this is why we use April Fool's Day, because April is in Aries, and Aries is always the start of the zodiac. This is why Aries rules the head region, 12 zodiacs, 12 systems of the body. Each zodiac is associated with each part of the body, and this is why Aries is the head, cerebrum. But we're not going to talk about this video. But yes, that is what April Fool's Day is. They're putting it in your face. April Fool's Day is the real start of the year, when the sun starts to rise again, when the risen Savior is resurrected, when it's born again. This is when the Jews celebrate the Passover. This is when the Christians celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, and they eat lamb. The Jews eat lamb because we're in Aries, the new year. The sun is now born again, our risen Savior, the light of the world. So yes, this is what April Fool's Day is. It's the first day of the year, which they changed, Pope Gregory changed. So you need to understand is that you are in the womb. You are inside of a ship, because every ship, literally a ship, every ship is female. This is why they say she delivers the product, because she does deliver the product, you, the baby. Same thing with a ship, they deliver products. They are a she. And when they pull up to the bay, like you can see on this picture, they're pulling up to the bay. This is now called the birth canal. The ship is now in birth, on paper. Okay, this is law. And when they pull up, they tie up to the bay, and now they get a certificate of manifest certifying all of the products which are on the ship and what they are bringing into that nation. Okay, so you're bringing in this many of that, everything's on the certificate of manifest. And this certificate of manifest is also your birth certificate, because you are traveling through water when you are in the birth canal of your mother, because you are in water when you are in the womb, and you travel through the birth canal. And when you arrive, you get a certificate of manifest with the name, how many, the quantity, that's your birth certificate. Okay. And this is what it is. We are a corporation. Well, we're not a corporation, but we represent a corporation, which is your name in full capital letters. That is your corporation. You cannot physically tax a body, but you can tax a corporation. This is why we get charged. This is why we get taxed, because it all goes down to the corporation which our name represents, which we are subjecting ourselves to. We are subject. My name I am subjecting myself to this name, and that name has a cooperation which I represent, which I subject myself to. You see, this is how we are attached to this straw man, this character that they have built on paper. So it's a character which is on paper. This is what we represent. So when the woman gives birth, she delivers the baby, and then she has another substance. Now I'm going to break down how they attach this name to us, how they do it. Okay, our mother is carrying us the product in the womb, the water, and it goes, for example, it goes from the United Kingdom into a state-owned, corporate, federal-owned hospital, which is government-owned. She does not declare the package when she enters the building. Aha, so keep that in mind. When she delivers the package in the federal territory, she does not declare the package either when she leaves. Therefore, there is no evidence that we exist when we arrive on paper. On paper, there is no evidence that we came into the building or left the building. We have not been declared. So we do not exist on paper at this point. When the woman gives birth, she delivers the baby, and then she has another substance, which is called the afterbirth material. Okay? This afterbirth material has the same DNA as our physical body with the body, mind, and spirit. Okay? This is how they get this cooperation. Hold on. The afterbirth material does not get claimed by the mother nor anyone. Therefore, they salvage that substance because we are under the Vatican. Every state is all Catholic. Your birth certificate is Catholic. No matter what religion you think you are, every single birth certificate is Catholic because we are subjected to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. Rome runs all of this. Okay, we're still under the Roman Empire. Okay, so Rome are Catholic and they believe in salvation. This is how religion comes into this. This is how they use religion to get this. So they salvage the afterbirth material and they claim it and they salvage it and give it and charge it to Rome. And they give it a name. Here's the legal term born alive. Here's what it says. Each product of such birth is considered live born and fully recognized as a human person. So each product of such birth, so that could be anything. The afterbirth, the person who actually comes out, the baby. So your afterbirth, which we do not take with us, we take the baby with us. They keep that in the hospital. They collect the afterbirth, and they salvage it, and they give it the name. Which it is us. We are a representative to that afterbirth material, which they put the name on. They claimed, which is subject to Rome. So we are walking around our whole lives as a representative to that claimed salvaged afterbirth material, which the federal state have. Okay. We are under the Catholic Church, Vatican, therefore the afterbirth material is a child of God. See? On paper, therefore they believe in salvation and salvage the afterbirth material. This material has no mother or father. The state pick it up, it becomes a war to the courts and gets charged to the state. So we are a representative to that character they salvage because it is the exact same DNA as you. Subject is the name or the title, and the matter is the physical aspect left behind in the hospital, which represents us. You see? So now we're moving on to Unum Sanctum. Unum Sanctum was in 1302, a very, very important year. Very important year. Unum Sanctum says this is basically how they claim everyone in the world. So the Vatican had all this power, all this gold, all these people under them. They need to get a claim for them so then they can rule over them and make them slaves. So what they did, they created Unum Sanctum. Pope Boniface VIII did this. And it says, the spiritual man judges of all things and he himself is judged by no man. The spiritual man, keep that in mind, unless he invent like Manichaeus, two beginnings, which is false and judged by heretical, since according to the testimony of Moses, it is not in the beginnings, but in the beginning that God created heaven and earth. Furthermore, we declare, we proclaim, we define that it is absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subjected to the Roman pontiff. So they are claiming us in Unum Sanctum, and it's in the vaults in the Vatican. They will put a spell on it because they are sorcerers, they are magicians. They put a spell on it, they lock it up, and whatever goes on that piece of paper goes. And this Unum Sanctum is claiming all of us. So what does it say in the beginning? The spiritual man judges of all things, and he himself is judged by no man. The spiritual man, the man with the body, mind, and soul, the first baby that comes out the birth canal. That's you, your body, body, mind, and soul. You have the Christ, which is I am, which is grace. Grace means here now, in the present. You have the Christ, which means I am. Therefore, you have a soul. If you can say I am, you have the Christ. You have a soul. But a creature can be anything with no soul. You see, so no man can judge the man with the soul. However, as it says in the second part, we proclaim, we define that it's absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subject to the Roman pontiff. So they are subjecting the afterbirth, not the man with the body, mind, and soul, but the afterbirth to the Roman pontiff, to the Roman Catholic Church. We are the ones who are claiming to be the afterbirth material, which is our birth certificate, which is our representative. We represent that because it is our DNA. This is how we are stuck. We are stuck because we represent this DNA, which is on paper, recorded. You see? So we, being untaught, uneducated in these subjects, we are subjecting ourselves to this system, to this slavery, because we just want to live. We just want to live happily, just peaceful. Think about it. Where's all this coming from? Where's all this war, all this killing, deaths coming from? We just want to live. It's coming from the Catholic Church, these evil death cult, which has subjected us, which has used us as slaves, and we are still slaves, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So this is how we have subjected ourselves to be the slaves to this system. It's a lot to take in, and there's a lot more deeper stuff which goes into this. But this is the general how that we've been stuck to this slave system. So we are batteries, okay? This is why we get charged. When you go in a court, you get charged, okay? Because you're a biological battery. This is why cities look like motherboards, because we are feeding energy to this matrix. Okay, when we look outside of ourselves, when we give power to so-called Jesus Christ, worshipping idols outside of ourselves, where attention goes, energy flows. We are feeding the matrix with energy. By looking within, placing your attention within yourself, you are taking back your power. Because the I am is Christ. The you, the soul, is Christ. It's God. The awareness is God. Okay? However, we are subjecting ourselves to this system. We're subjecting ourselves to this system and the feeding of our energy. So what we need to look at for the future is that, think about it, with the end goal is to change our DNA, is to literally make us robots, transhumanism, slaves. This is why we have smart cars, smartphones, smart watches, smart meters, smart cities. And all of this is going to be connected by the smart grid, which is 5G. This is why 5G is rolling out. 5G is going to connect all of these technologies to one. It's like a big net system. And you know why they're doing this? It's because all of this is going to be connected through this 5G, and that 5G is going to be controlled by the elites. So you say anything wrong, you do something wrong, you say the wrong thing online, they'll turn off your car, they'll turn off your phone, they'll turn off your smartwatch, they'll turn off your TV, because it's all going to be connected and controlled by the smart grid. And this is what the Great Reset is, people. But they're going to trap us inside of these 15-minute smart cities, so we can't leave the area, because they're going to use climate change as a tool to enslave us to not travel because of so-called climate change and the fumes that we are putting into the air, which is all BS. They're doing this to push these new cities, to push all of it. But listen, they're trying to get inside of your body. The only way they can do that is to get you addicted and using this technology. First, they got on the body with the smartphone. Well, first of all, we use the technology. We get used to it with it in our hand. The next step for them was to get on the body, which is the Apple Watch, as you see down here. They have now successfully got onto the body. The next thing is to get inside of the body. This is the brain chip. You see how they've slowly lured their way in, slowly got you addicted to this technology, got you dependent on this technology. And what they're going to do is that they're going to mold society to be dependent on the brain chip. So in order, for example, if you want to go and pay for food, you're going to have to get a chip to pay for the food, because it's all going to be digital money. And that digital money will be connected to the chip, and you'll need the chip to pay for things. You see? So this is how they're slowly transhumanizing us. These phones, these apps, these things which are all using, was created by Freemasons. Mason means traveler, because they travel the depths of the mind. They understand human consciousness. They understand the brain. They understand the mind. By the deepest root cause, they understand it. This is what Masonry is. It's the occult. So these technologies is designed by these people. This is why they're so addictive, because they understand how it works. They understand how to get people addicted, because they understand human consciousness, the brain, the body, and the mind. So this is the advantage Freemasons have over us, and these secret societies, which have gone through the orders of Freemasonry, and progressed onto these secret societies, which are the evil side, because I'm not saying Freemasonry is evil, okay? But the societies which they go beyond Freemasonry, because you can go beyond the 33rd degree into these secret societies, and they use this knowledge for the bad to enslave people. And this is what's going to happen. Transhumanism. So I hope you all learned some insight for today. Please do a bit more research on, the birth certificate and stuff like that, the Strawman. And have an amazing day, people. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.